Right to our GMA cover story this morning. Senator Kamala Harris's journey to becoming Joe Biden's trailblazing running mate. Lindsay Davis joins us now with more on the daughter of immigrants becoming the first woman of color to be on a major party ticket. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning to you, Rob. And of course, many people remember that moment when Senator Kamala Harris made that big splash on the national stage, the debate stage, when she was talking about busing, and she said, "I am that little girl." And today I'm mindful of all the little girls who are watching in this moment. Of course, many of the headlines are about the history of it, but in the same vein, it's also very much about the future and the inspiration that comes along with it.
At 55 years old, Kamala Harris is no stranger to making history. Born in Oakland, California in October 1964, she's the daughter of immigrants, her father from Jamaica, her mother from India.
She was all of 5 feet tall, but if you ever met her, you would have probably thought she was 7 to 10 feet tall.
Harris learned about race and identity at an early age. Her parents separated when she was just 6. Her mother raised Harris and her sister Maya. The two grew up in the Bay Area, bused across Berkeley for school in the 1960s. That experience proved a pivotal moment in the primary season of this election.
You know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools, and she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
She went on to graduate from Howard University, now the first graduate from a historically black university on a major party ticket. After Howard, a career in criminal justice as a prosecutor, one that she defended when I pressed her on it during the ABC News primary debate in September of 2019.
But when you had the power, why didn't you try to affect change then?
So I'm glad you asked me this question, and I made a decision that if I was going to have the ability to reform the system, I would try to do it from the inside.
In 2003, Harris became the first black woman ever elected district attorney in San Francisco, making history again 7 years later when she was elected as the state's attorney general, the first black American and first woman in the role. While serving, she was set up on a blind date with entertainment lawyer Douglas Emhoff. The two married in 2014. He recalls the moment that Harris first met his 2 children from a previous marriage when they were just 3 months into dating.
Let me tell you about the Kamala Harris I know. She showed up to meet Colonella wearing chucks and jeans, holding a bag of a tin of chocolate chip cookies that she wrapped. That's wearing a leather jacket. So, that's the Kamala Harris that I know.
In 2016, after a stint as California State Attorney General, she was elected the junior senator from the state, the first South Asian American and second black woman in the Senate.
I did.
Then jumping into the presidential race in 2019, making the announcement right here on GMA.
Do you have an announcement you'd like to make?
I am running for president of the United States.
Well,
and I'm very excited about it. The
news of Harris's selection for the ticket inspired many on Tuesday. Actress Mindy Kaling tweeting, "For my black and Indian sisters, many of us who have gone our entire lives thinking that someone who looks like us may never hold high office, I'm filled with hope and excitement." And then there's Charlie, a 10-year-old little girl dancing at the news that Harris is joining the Biden ticket.
I was elated. I was overly excited. She represents me, and that means so much to me.
Charlie, so representative of all the many young girls out there. She says when she first heard the news, she thought that it was monumental, and she said, "I can see myself in her." How significant is that? And so while many of the pundits and politicians are talking about what Kamala Harris can bring to the ticket in a political sense, it seems that there's a significance beyond that this morning. Robin.
Yes, beyond that, representation cannot underscore how important that is and the impact that it has, as we saw with that little girl. Hey, Lindsay, couldn't help but notice in your piece, you went back to the clip when you were moderating that primary debate last year. What did you learn about the new VP during that time, at that moment?
Well, Well, you know, she's a former prosecutor. I think that she can certainly hold her own on the debate stage, and that it's going to be interesting to see in this debate season that is just about upon us. But what I took away that she talked about in her answer, she said, was I able to get enough done? Absolutely not. And I thought that that admission as a politician was somewhat refreshing, that she was kind of owning up to some of the back and forth that she's seen in her record as a prosecutor, especially as it applies to criminal justice.
Yes. All right. Is it raining there? What's going on where you are? It seems like the weather.
It's raining. It is. It's a wet, humid, muggy day here.
All right. Well, thanks for being a trooper and getting out in the rain for us. Take care.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.